8 o'clock, coffee in the pot, breakfast on the table, bacon and eggs. Me and Granny talked about everything, like that FaceTime call she made to my little girl. Sitting in her kitchen, memories unwind. Stories about the old days, how she raised us all. Every photo on the wall, a piece of time. Her laughter echoes through these empty halls. I miss you, Granny, wish you could be here. Every day's a little colder since you've gone. Your voice on that FaceTime call, crystal clear, feels like you were never far along. Her hands were always busy, but her heart was calm, crocheting dreams for everything we become. Now the yarn lies untouched and I carry on, trying to weave a life from what you've sung. Morning sun through the window where you used to sit, in your favorite chair where shadows now fall. I hold the warmth of your smile in my grip, wishing you'd just answer my call. I miss you, Granny, wish you could be here. Every day's a little colder since you've gone. Your voice on that FaceTime call, crystal clear, feels like you were never far along.
Good morning, everybody, or should I say good afternoon, because I didn't get coffee till now, but I wanted to make a video in answer to my daughter's video about coffee and what it means to us as a family. The song you're going to hear before my talk is going to explain a lot of it, well, at least part of it, but she was right, my granny loved her coffee in the morning, so let's get our first sip. How about it? We have a pot in there of coffee, but I have a cup of 8 o'clock coffee. Let's try it. Oh, that's good. Oh my goodness. Nothing like it. Especially on a cold day like this, because it's Saturday and it's really cold today. It's like 43 degrees. And it's cold. Hold on a second. Let me turn on my fireplace. There we go. Now we got the right ambience. Because a lot of times when we drink our coffee, it was over a wood heater because it was so cold out. About this time of year, she'd have a wood heater turned on and fire lit good. It'd be good and cozy at the old homestead. And, she was and always will be my favorite. Me and my Nana was close. We did a lot of things together too. I wish y'all could have known her too, but I will upload at some time. I will upload one of Granny's files that I do have of her, so y'all can kind of sort of understand her and what she was like. She was a great person. She really was. And always will be. Oh, that's good. Holy cow, that's good. I asked Daddy to get some of this for my coffee recordings. And he bought some yesterday, and he's like, I found it. I'm like, yes. So, that's the kind of...
YouTube, 1 minute ago. J Dolls UK. A birthday speech off. 1:06 p.m. Speech off.
Shut up thing. Sorry. But that's the type that we like to drink too, is 8 o'clock coffee. So he got us some yesterday. Oh, that's good. Nothing like it. We got some French vanilla cream in here. And a little bitty touch of sea salt caramel powder. You know, the one thing I miss with my coffee is my bacon and eggs that Granny used to make, or biscuits and gravy she used to make. That was one thing that really made our day, was the breakfast she used to make. That song that Les Scarlett wrote about Granny was really precious. It made me cry, of course, but it was a beautiful song. It's, you know, it meant a lot to me because, you know, it was hard for me to write a song about her. Me and Mom finally did write one, which you'll see in a minute. I'll show it to you. But, we did write a song about her. Well, we wrote two. We wrote one about her and I, you know, our coffee connection situation. And then we wrote one about me missing her, which you guys will see. I sent it to my daughter, and it's probably going to make her Matilda cry, because when we wrote it, it made both Mom and I both cry. So good. This coffee's up on diggity. I mean, I can still see her sitting here drinking a coffee and talk about when we were kids and when she was a kid, and, you know, all the funny things that we used to do as kids, and, you know, those things that just mean a lot to me and meant a lot to her. It was just nothing in particular. It was everything. It was everything, you know. I swear, because it's super hot. Our pot we've got now is I think it's a Mr. Coffee Maker we got from Big Lots. And I love Big Lots because they have... my granny, that's the only place she used to go to get a coffee pot, was Big Lots. She'd never go to Walmart. She always go to Big Lots. And she would go there and get a coffee pot, and we'd make the first pot, and she'd go, want to try the first pot, baby? I'm like, yep. She'd go, here you go. And she always gave me the first cup, although I felt she deserved it more because she was older than I was. Nope, she gave me the first cup every time. Just like this. So good. Hey, Snowball, you getting into everything? That's Snowball, my cat. She's being silly. She's in her silly mood. But yeah. I miss her so much because she, you know, like my daughter was saying, she lit us up. You know, she made us laugh. She, like that time when she accidentally called my daughter on FaceTime. That was funny. My iPhone was sitting over here on the table, and I was in the shower, and all of a sudden I hear, I'm like, what the heck just happened here? And I come out of the shower 30 minutes later, I hear him talking, and she's just laughing her head off, just laughing. And my daughter was laughing and just, you know, talking about all the old times when she was a kid and how she wished she could have met my granny before now. And Granny said, well, if you'd been my grandkid when you was a baby, she said, I would have held you close and never let you go. It's actually a wonder that I'm mentally able to actually record this, because I mean, for the longest time, talking about her would make me cry all the time. But it still does. But I need to do it because it's therapy for me, and it's also therapy for her. With Thanksgiving coming up, and Christmas, it's going to be really hard this year because she's not here. But, you know, the one thing I can say is she's not suffering anymore. But it's still hard. This cup right here was one she got me. the one I drink out of every day. Never drink out of any other cup but this one. We had a coffee cup we bought her in Pigeon Forge with her name on it, and we found it a few weeks ago. My dad and I both started crying because her name was Elizabeth. We called her, everybody called her Leah, but I just called her Granny. Or Gran. Sometimes I called her Gran. Or Mama. When I was younger, I called her Mama. Then when I got older, I called her Gran or Granny. Or sometimes Gigi. But mostly Gran or Granny. I don't know why that started happening. I don't know why I started calling her that, but it just stuck. She was there when my mom was sick. She was there. Mom had a back surgery in 2003. Now this right here is going to be hard to talk about, so Tito, you hear? Those of y'all who know me know what that means. My mom had surgery back in 2003, May 6th of 2003 at about 9:45 at night. She had back surgery. Hold on a second. Anyway. But she was there for me when all that happened. My mom was in rehab facility for a month. And Granny, even though she had a hard time dealing with me being so upset with Mom being gone, she didn't care. She just took care of me. And she'd make me some chicken, because she knew I love fried chicken strips. Still do. Every day of my life. Still do. That air fryer in there, she got me my first air fryer a couple years ago. And he's old, but he's still, still, chugging along when I can get him to work. Sometimes they don't work as good as they used to, but she used to always fry me chicken strips in it. And when we first got it, she showed me how to use it and everything. And one thing I missed most about it was that she would always tell me, "Now, baby, you want good fried chicken strips, love? Let me go and show you how to make some good fried ones." And she'd get them from United Grocery Outlet, which is like a little chain down here. And boy, let me tell you something. Those things are the best chicken pieces I ever ate. And you get them in these big old boxes. You still can get them too, which I still miss them. Still get them in these big old boxes. And she'd make them, and oh my God. Whoo, they were so good. And she'd make her famous fried potatoes. I still have a hard time eating fried potatoes now because she made the best fried potatoes ever. No, man. But, I just, there were so many things that my granny and I did together that, I'm going to start showing you guys, on Sundays, instead of uploading vlogs, it's going to be Granny Day. And I'm going to show you things that she and I did together. What I have of her, I'm going to show. It's not going to be easy, but I need to do this for therapy for me and for my daughter too, because she needs this. It's just something I need to do, because Granny was and is the matriarch of our family. She was always funny. She still is always going to be funny because she's still in heaven. I know that. I mean, she's always looking down. But I miss her. I miss all the fun stuff we used to do, because every morning, especially on Saturdays like this, she'd always make some bacon and eggs and biscuits and gravy, and she'd make a big old house full of food. And she'd say, "Come and eat. You know, come and eat," because she was a typical, country woman. She was raised in the South. She was born in Decatur, Tennessee, where she was raised. Born and raised there. And, I guess she was born, I'm not sure exactly where she was born. I think she was born at home, for what she said. She was born at home. Most people back in those days when my granny was born, they had their kids at home. They never had them in the hospital. they were born at home. Good lordy, crazy cat. My nana was also born at home, and my aunts and uncles and my papa, or my papa was too, but my biological daddy was a preemie, so he couldn't be born at home, and my mom was preemie too, so was I. But back within our home, up in Decatur, way up in the pillar of Decatur, like in the heart of Decatur, was our homestead, our old homestead. And I do have some recordings, which I'm going to show y'all. Some breakfast recordings of me and Mama and Granny making breakfast together. I'm going to show all of that with yous. Every Sunday, it's going to be a Granny Day. That I have any stuff of hers, I'm going to show it. It's going to be Granny Day. And I'm going to upload a time when we had fun together as a family. And I'll let y'all see how amazing this woman actually was. And it's going, if you want a lot of that stuff, I'll give it to you in Dropbox, because I have loads that I can give you. Excuse me. Some of it's over on random recordings, on Rocky Lindsay's random recordings too. But I'll upload those on Sundays out, but y'all can kind of see what our family was really like. There were times of hard times with me and Granny, but there were some good times too. Real good times. They were hilarious. She was such a funny person. She was just hilarious. She would do something just to get you going. And you get to meet a lot of my family, and, you know, my Aunt Tooise, we called her Tooise because we just joke around with her. She was my cousin, but we called her Aunt Tooise because she was her Aunt Tooise. My cousin Travis, my cousin David, I think Travis is in there, I'm not sure. I know David was. My granny, my cousin Deb, which I call her Aunt Deb, and my mom and me. You guys are going to see a lot of really good family stuff that I've got, that I've saved over time, that just means so much to me. I think tomorrow I'm going to start off with a Sunday breakfast we always did together. I'm going to start off with that and let you guys hear Mom and Granny making breakfast. My Granny loved sausage. She loved it. Especially Wampler's sausage, which you can get most grocery stores have it. And that's the only kind I get now is Wampler's. That's because it's what she loved. And it's what we both was raised, I was raised on it. And that's what we love. Her favorite cereal was cornflakes or bran flakes. She loved that. And then she loved her 8 o'clock coffee, which is what I have right here. It's a brand called 8 o'clock. It's really good. Good start to your day. She also loves Folgers and Maxwell House too, which I also have Maxwell House here. The morning blend, which is really good. She was just awesome, you know. And that time when she made that accidental FaceTime call, that was so funny. I was in the shower, my iPhone was laying over here. It was when I had my 10R. Which I still have, but I don't use as much, just for upload stuff. If I feel like uploading with it, I use it, but mostly just my 13 and my 14. But she, I was in the shower getting ready because we were going to go to my cousin's house. And she saw my phone on the table and she accidentally hit a button, which FaceTime my daughter. Screw it. And I came out and and thank God it was plugged in because they were laughing and talking and just, up a storm. You would think they'd known each other all their lives. It was that hilarious. That funny. All those things. The things that she would say to my daughter, like, she got where she'd call her on FaceTime. She goes, I'm going to FaceTime my daughter. And she'd grab my phone and FaceTime my daughter. She'd go, I'm going to FaceTime my granddaughter. My great grandbaby, she'd always FaceTime her. When we lost touch for a while, me and my daughter, she had a really hard time with that. Granny couldn't cope. She had a really hard time with that because it was hard because she FaceTimed my daughter just about every day. Didn't she, daughter of mine? So good. But she would FaceTime my daughter every day. And she would always tell her, I love you, baby. I love you, my baby girl, my grandbaby girl. And when we lost touch there for a while because of things that went down, I won't go into that because it was just a lot of family stuff. When we lost touch with my daughter for a while, my granny just couldn't cope with that. She couldn't deal with it. She just had a really hard time dealing with it. And I didn't know how to make her feel better. I didn't know what I could do to make her feel better. But she always told me that my daughter would come back, that things would be okay. And then when her time got thin and she started getting sicker and we started noticing, and this is the thing I want to tell you guys also is, I do believe in my heart that she was, oh, hi, Snowball, hi, baby. She knows I'm upset, that's why she's over here. I do believe she was suffocated. I do believe that, ow! Snowball, you better stop biting me. I'm serious, cat. She loved my cat, too. Funny story about my cat in a minute. I'll tell you a funny story about her when she was a baby. But, I do believe that my granny was suffocated. I do believe they didn't try hard enough to help her. Here's why I think that. One day, she was totally okay. I had visited her the day before. We had some fun together. I brought her some coffee. And we had coffee together, just me and her, in her room, just us. Nobody else. She didn't want nobody else interfering. She wanted just me in there. Not her roommate, no one else, just me. And she told the nurse, she said, I want to have coffee with my granddaughter, just me and my granddaughter, no one else. I don't want no one else bothering us. I just want this time with her. So we did. And I brought her a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, which I brought her a sausage biscuit. That's right, because we both had sausage biscuits, so I brought her that from home. And we're sitting there talking, and she was okay. Well, the next day I got a call saying, well, no, 2 days later, but she was sick the next day, but no one told us. No one bothered to inform us. Instead, hospice calls me and tells me, did you know your grandma's real sick? She's not eating or drinking, and her breathing's pretty bad. Okay, I told them, I said, you need to get a face mask. She cannot breathe through her nose. She has a deviated septum. She needs a face mask. I've been telling you all this since the beginning of time, that she needs a face mask, not a nasal mask. Not a nasal piece. And I got mad because they weren't doing what I asked them to do, which was give her a face mask where she could breathe through her mouth. Because she was a serious mouth breather. Like, I'm a serious mouth breather. I can breathe through my nose, but as you can tell, it's difficult because my nose stays stuffy all the time. Like my granny. She got sick really bad the next day. Though, a couple days later, I found out about it. We went up there to see her. She was... Y'all, I'm just gonna tell the truth. I mean, TW here again. She looks pitiful. She looked so pitiful. She just looked like... I can't even explain it. She looked like a little baby laying there all, just laying there like a big doll laying there. And I don't know what made me do it, but I went over there and I got on the bed next to her. And I picked her head up and I put it in my lap. And I started rubbing her face because she loved when I rubbed her face when she was sick. And I started rubbing her face and I said, I'm here, Granny. I stayed like that all day with her. I just sat there and held her. And I rubbed her face. And I kept holding her, and I wouldn't let go. And when we had to go, I was like, I can't do it. I can't labor. They said, you have to go, you have to leave her. And I said, I can't. I said, I can't do it. I can't go. Well, we stayed there till about 10 o'clock that night. And I was holding her. And I knew she was suffering, and me and Mom were both there, sitting there talking to her. Daddy went out for a little bit to give us privacy, and Mama told her, Mama, if you're hurt bad, go to Jesus. Come to Jesus. It's okay. The next day we went back up there again, and still very non-responsive at all, hardly, except for once in a while she'd wake up for a little bit and open her eyes for a minute. And about 6 o'clock at night, she wanted coffee so bad she couldn't stand it. And I said, bring my granny a cup of 8 o'clock coffee. It's what she loves. So Daddy went and got it and brewed her some right there in her room and gave it to her. And I held her head, and Mom gave it to her so she could drink it. And she had the biggest smile on her face. She said, my favorite coffee, my 8 o'clock coffee. She looked at me, she said, where's your cup? Daddy handed me one. I said, right here, Granny, I'm right here. I got my cup right here. I'm just holding you so you can drink yours. And we sat her up where she could get a hold of her cup easily, and she drank it. Drank the whole big old huge 32-ounce cup of coffee. And she said she was hungry, so I fed her some soup that we made for her. I sat there holding her and fed her some soup, and I sang to her like she loved to hear me do. And I rubbed her face and rubbed her hands and put some lotion on her feet. She loved that. And she said, it feels nice to have all my family right here with me. That next day, Easter Sunday, she died. She died at about 11 o'clock that morning. She raised up, wanted another cup of coffee. They brought us my 8 o'clock coffee because she mostly about that one kind. She loved Folgers and Maxwell House too, but her favorite was 8 o'clock, which is a brand that we got down here. I don't know if they got it. I'm pretty sure they got it at other places too. But she wanted another cup of coffee, so a friend of ours who was staying with her made her coffee for her, gave it to her, held her so she could drink it. And then I told her to sit her up, that way she can drink it herself, because she likes to hold it herself. So he did, and I was talking to her. I said, Granny, I love you. I love you, Granny. And she said, love you too, baby. Mind? I said, yep, that's right, mind. We had a joke. And for her to be as sick as she was and still remember that joke, we always say, mind, mind. We'd always say that to each other. And for her to remember that joke as sick as she was, and as on death's door as she was, for her to remember that funny little joke we had. That's why I do it with my daughter now. I go, mind. She goes, no, mind. I go, no, mind. I do that with my kids now, because that's what Granny always taught us. She would always do that funny stuff. Mind. No, I said mind. She was like that. She was just funny. And we got the call. We had just finished church. We were about to eat our dinner. No, we finished our dinner. We were out doing Easter egg hunt when I got the call. I couldn't even tell Daddy. I looked at him. He said, what is it, honey? I just took my hand and looked at the phone. I touched the phone. He goes, what, baby? What is it? And I couldn't tell him. He goes, honey, you gotta tell me what's wrong. And I pointed to Granny's name. He goes, is she gone? And I went ahead, and then I burst out with the worst sounding howl you could ever think of. Then the worst part of it was I had to tell my mama. And I'll never forget it. The poor, pitiful wail she yelled out. She's like, no, oh, no. And then she started sobbing. That broke me to pieces, worse than anything. And so I held Mama in my arms, and I said, "It's okay, Mom. So I'm right here. I'm going to help you through this." And the one thing we always say to each other is, "I'm going to love you through it." That was a song that we relate to, because my Nana, when she had cancer, that song came out when my Nana had cancer in her lungs, and I always said to her, "I'm going to love you through it. You're going to be okay." Well, after that was our theme. I'm going to love you through it. I told my mom, I said, "I'm going to love you through it, Mom. We're going to be okay. We're going to make it through this. I don't know how we're going to make it, but we're going to make it." And we did. But I'll tell you something. I thought my sister's death was hard. Oh, God. I thought my sister's death was hell. Oh, no. That was bad. But this, guys, was so much worse. It was like someone took a knife, reached into my chest, and slashed my heart into about 1,000,000 pieces. And then had the nerve to take my heart out and eat it. That's how it felt. I can't even explain to you how horrible it really felt. I mean, yes, losing my sister was horrible. It really was, because I still miss her to this day, and I still can't talk about it without crying. But this is even worse. Mentally, it's a whole lot worse, because the woman practically helped raise me. And when we was kids, she'd take us to church in the morning, on Sunday morning. That's why I'm going to show you guys this clips, because I want you to understand what kind of person she was. And this helps me. It's therapy for me. And it helps me to be able to upload these to show you what kind of person she was. She was a good person. And when I had to tell my mom that she was gone, because Daddy couldn't do it, he was too upset. He was broke. And she took one look at my daddy and she said, "She's gone, ain't she, Mom?" And I said, "Yes, Mom, she's gone." And Mom just lost it. And all three of us were hugging each other and just sobbing our brains out. And our church members come rushing over there. "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I couldn't talk, because I was beyond words. I was totally shut down. I couldn't talk. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I just was shut down. So Daddy, when he got his breath, finally had to tell him what happened with Granny. We left from the church that I grew up in and went to Granny's side, and I got to give her a kiss. And I held her one last time in my arms until they came to take her. And I sat there on the bed holding her in my arms. Just had her head laying on me. Her whole body, as much as I could get of her, laying on me. And I had a cup of coffee in my hand, because she would have killed me if I hadn't. She would have myrtleized me. And Mom and I toasted coffee cups. All three of us did. Me, Mom, and Daddy. Said, "This is for you, Mom. Granny, we love you." And I took a sip of it, and I was like, just like Granny makes. But no one can make coffee like my Granny could. My Granny could make coffee that would just make your heart sing. It was so strong and good. But yeah. But I held her till Zigor came to get her. And I held her while they put her in the thing. And I held her hand while they put her on the gurney and took her out. And I held her hand until they got her in the hearse. And I gave her one more kiss. I made them move the thing off her face so I could give her one more kiss and more hug and tell her I love her. And then we had the funeral, and that was hard. I thought my mom was going to pass out, but praise God she didn't. With my sister, she almost did. With my papa, she did. With my uncle, she did. But not Granny. I used to sometimes Caesar call her Granny Mama, because she was like a mom to me. And I remember at the funeral, the one thing she wanted me to sing was "Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone." And I did it, but I cried the whole way through it. And I gave her eulogy. Talked about when we were kids, how she helped raise us and taught us right from wrong and taught us how important God was and all those wonderful things that she did. we had times where me and Granny get frustrated with each other and we'd start growling, yelling at each other, but the truth was, we'd always make it. I'd always be the one to say sorry first, or sometimes she would say, "I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean it." And she'd give me a hug and we'd both start crying. Yeah, I had a picture. I have a picture of me and Granny still together, and I took a copy of it and put it in her coffin with her, so she'd always have me with her. And she had a reborn baby that I bought her. I had special. Oh, she had two. One I kept. One I still have. He misses her awful bad, and he's had a hard time with her death, and that's RT. James Robert Thomas the fourth. And he's one that I got made for her. But the other one that she had, which was named after me, went with her in her grave, in her coffin. That way she'd always have a piece of me with her. But I still have her little boy she had. And it's still hard to hold him, but I have to do that because he needs that right now. He needs a lot of comfort right now because he lost her, and it's been really tough on him. It's been really tough for Daniel, too. I did take Daniel with me to the funeral because Daniel loved her and knew her well, and he respected her a lot. And I took him with me. I had him in her old, really, really old wheelchair that we used to have of hers when she was younger. And she got hurt. We still had it, so I put him in that. And I strapped him in. I rolled him out to her coffin. I put his little hand on her, and he gave her a kiss. I'm glad he's not in here right now because he'd be crying if he was. Because he can't even talk about her. It's worse for him, I think, than me anyway, because he and her had a very special bond. They had. Like, she would take him over the weekend and go, "I want to have Granny Daniel time." And she would take him over the weekend with, and, she would take him to the store with her and show him off, and she would buy him clothes. I still have clothes that she bought for him that he wears. She bought him a little suitcase, which he still has, which it says "Going to Grandma's" on it. His first ever pair of shoes he ever got, she got it for him. His first coffee cup he had, she's got. That's right here. With it. It's his. That she got for him. His first blankie he ever got, she actually made that for him. That's why I love quilting so much, because she quilted that blanket for him. And that's, I guess, why I love quilting so much. And virtually, I do quilt a lot virtually because that's what my granny was like. She loved quilting. And I remember when I was little, I'd sit with her when she quilt. I'd sit with her, watch her do it. And I said, "Granny, I wish I was just like you one day. I want to do what you do." And I'll never forget my first quilt I got, which still lays on my bed, that she got me, that she made. It was a Lone Star pattern. If y'all know anything about quilting, she made the Lone Star one, she made the medallion ones, she made the log cabin one, which Mama has, and I got a log cabin one that she made for me too. And Daniel has one that she made for him too, that was log cabin. Because he loves anything to do with woodcrafting and all that, so she made that for him. And I reckon he gets that from his daddy Lonzy, because Lonzy loves woodcrafting and all that, so. But the point is, guys, I think it's hard on me, but I think it's even harder on Daniel because he loved his granny. She would come get him on Friday nights, go, "Can I have Daniel for the weekend? Have Daniel granny time?" And she would do what she did for us when we were kids, because we would go on Friday nights and stay the night all weekend with Granny and Papa. And Saturday morning, every Saturday, she'd make a big old huge breakfast. We'd sit there talking around the breakfast table, drinking coffee. And Papa would say grace, and we'd eat a good, huge, hearty meal. And then Papa would take us to Piggly Wiggly's to look around and get treats. And she fed cows for many, many years, guys. She was a dairy farmer for over 50 years. Since she was a young pup. And she loved it. That was the one job she loved so much, was dairy farming. And she was just loved her cows. I'll never forget, before she got real bad off, one time when she had surgery, no, she was already bad off, but she was confused after because anesthesia was very confusing for her. And she said, gotta go feed my babies. And she'd call, suck calf, suck, suck, suck. And I'll never forget it. It broke my heart because she couldn't feed her babies anymore. And that's why we have cows here. Because the cow was, and always will be, my granny's favorite animal ever. That's why we have cows here, because of that. That's why we have a homestead, because of the way I was raised. It's not a big homestead, but we have one. It's bigger down the road from us. The acres of land we got down the road from us is bigger than what we have right here. But, yeah. I'll tell you, I mean, there's so much I could tell you. Like when we was little kids, Papa would ride us in his big old hay wagon. And I'd help him tamp the hay down for him to put up in the loft in the hay mow. And I love the smell of hay to this day. That's, I guess, why, we're farmers and stuff like that, because we love the smell of like cows and hay and horses and cow's milk and goat's milk and all that. Goat's milk's good stuff. It's a weird color, but it's so good. I even like goat cheese. Like, there's a cheese that we get at Walmart called Gordon's goat cheese. It's really good. And you dip your chips in it. Oh my god, that stuff's so good. Dip your nachos in that baby, and woo, baby. Arr, good stuff. And Granny always loved that. And I'd get her a big old bucket of that goat cheese. She'd go, my favorite. So, there's so many things that we did together that I'll never forget. And that's why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to explain to you how amazing my granny really was. And it's to this day, although she's in heaven, I know she's still here. I know she's sitting right here next to me, seeing me drink my coffee. Coffee's gone. Anyway. Excuse me. Another thing she could do was she was a very good champion burper. She could out burp anyone. Me and her one time, I went over there for the weekend, me and her and Daniel, and her little special boy Bobby, we were over there, and she goes, hey, I bet you I can out burp you. I'm like, oh no you can't. I got a root beer, she got coffee, and she did out burp me. She did. She was just that funny. She could out burp any burper. And she could out fart any farter. I'll never forget that one. And this is what makes me smile to think about it. One time she was bending over to do something. And poor thing, her butt was near my face. And she let a big old I'm like, Greeley? She goes, oh, baby, I'm sorry. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry, honey. Oh, it was so funny, though. She made me laugh my head off when she did that. And I'll never forget one time. We were sitting on the porch. She had this old rickety porch. I loved it. She hated it, but I loved it. We were sitting there. And her dog, TJ, who was a retriever of some type, he was a good dog. And she got him for my papa after Uncle got so sick. And he was, I think, a lab of some type, a lab or golden retriever mix, I think. And she goes, TJ, come here. And he came up to me with love and all over me and gave me all kinds of kisses. She goes, kiss sissy, and getting me kisses on my face. When we lost TJ, that was hard for me because he and I were really close. He was a good dog. And he was so, so sweet and friendly and loving. And her dog, Jessie, he did not like anybody. He would growl and bite anybody, but he never bit me. He'd growl at me, but never bit me. But I was always afraid of him because, And she told Jessie, don't you bite my baby. That's my daughter, granddaughter. You don't bite my baby, Jessie. Well, he was old. He was real old, about 16 years old, and he died. He wandered off in the woods one day and died. Boy, that about killed my granny. She loved that dog. How she got the name Jessie for him, I'll never understand. But, they had I think it was I'm not sure what kind of dog Roscoe was, RB. I think he was a bulldog of some type, and they named him RB, Roscoe Bud, after Dixie Hazard. He was a big old dog, but nothing but a big baby. And then they had Brownie, who was a full-blooded basset hound, and she was nothing but a big baby. I loved her too. And I used to walk out when she'd feed the animals. I'd walk out with her and watch her feed, and I recorded. I wish I still had some recordings of her feeding the animals, because it was so cool, because she cared for every single animal she had. But anyway, guys, I'm going to check on my daughter, make sure she's okay. I got kind of worried about her a little bit. But I love you guys, and I will be uploading Memories with Granny. I was going to call it Memories with Granny. I'm going to make a playlist with it and upload those. Every week you're going to see one of those Memories with Granny. I'm going to upload them. And memories that I had with Mama and my Granny. So, anyway, I love you guys so much, and thank you for listening and to me blubber and cry. I love y'all. Thank you for watching, and daughter of mine, thank you for the idea, because this actually helps me to talk about it and get it off my chest. It's good therapy for me, because sometimes it hurts me to talk about her, but I needed to. Anyway, love you guys.